All right, y'all, just 1 second. I got started off on the wrong foot a second ago. I had to rejigger things. So here we are. Purposeful journeys, heart to heart. Yes, indeed. And I'm so excited. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is going to be an amazing conversation. I believe that this is going to be a launching pad. I believe that people are going to take in this information, listen to these stories, and they're really going to embrace their heart health and take that seriously. So it's a big deal. Let me do this. I'm going to do two things. I'm going to unlock the comments in case they are. I'm going to invite some people here. And let me see if I can get Lexi. There she is. Hello, Sarah is in the building early and on time. Y'all, I hope the comments are working. As you drop in, say hi, hello, what's up? Alexis, let me see if you on. And we are going to right into this. I started off a little interestingly. Yes, there she is.
Hi.
We are here, y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome to all of our chosen sisters, friends, and family members, those who may have just popped in because they were invited. Thank you so much for being here to have a heart-to-heart chat with us. Purposeful journeys. Yes, this is exciting. This is exciting. So this is the first one of 2023. We started this back in, oh gosh, did we start this in 21? We started this in 2021. I'm gonna probably have to tag her after we're done. My girl Juanita Grant, who's an iPop sister. We started doing these fireside chats with women where we can just connect heart to heart, share our stories, share our struggles, and hopefully give some good information and be a blessing to other people. So I am super excited about this. In recognition of Heart Health Month, just want to talk about two scary situations that Alexis, who is well younger than myself, as well as me, and the situations that we dealt with our heart, as well as share some good information. Let me make sure I got my laptop here so I can share that with you all. So let's do this. Alexis, I want us to start off. You can tell us your name, tell us how old you are, and tell us where you're from. And I want you to share with everyone where you graduated from and what you got your degree in, because I'm so proud of you. I can't even stand it. So go ahead, jump right in.
Okay. Hi, Leah. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I just got so excited. Hi, Leah. I miss you.
I can't even see what's going on. Hey, Leah.
Okay, let me calm down. Hi, everybody. First of all, thank you so much for having me and for even thinking enough of me to think I can come on here and talk about stuff, because I don't be knowing stuff. But I don't. No, my name was Alexis Bond, and a few years ago I got saved. The Lord blessed me with Bomb of Christ Ministries, and that's just what I be doing on YouTube. And I'm originally from the Philadelphia area, and I just graduated from Lancaster Bible College, Capital Seminary and Graduate School. So I have my master's in biblical studies and apologetics.
Big deal. That is a big deal. Now I can see Leah. Hey, Leah. And hey, Sarah. I think I spoke to Sarah. My sister Lisa Brown is in the building. Hey, Lisa. Y'all, I called Lisa bright early this morning. I got two very close sisters of my heart. One who I pray with early in the morning and one who I do not. And I called the one who I do not early this morning. But that was okay. We prayed anyway. So God is good. So I'm so excited, Alexis. So let me see. Wait a minute. I tried to pull together an agenda because I fly off the handle. So those that know me know that. So I wanted to pull together. So let me do this. I want to share with us a couple of very scary facts in regards to our heart. Okay, so, and Alexis, how old are you?
I'm sorry, I'm 29.
29. And so it was just last year that you had a very scary episode with your heart. We're going to talk about that. When my heart and lungs, really, they were going crazy at the same time. I was 38 in a very, very, very scary situation and diagnosed with a chronic illness that directly impacted my heart. So we're going to talk about that in just one second. I'm trying to move this computer a little bit closer. So let me share some facts. I can't even call these fun facts because this is really scary. A few I shared on the Bold Journeyzz Podcast. When I came in here first, I was like, welcome to the Bold Journeyzz Podcast. I was like, that's not what this is. This is purposeful journeys, okay, where we always are purposeful and we embrace our journeys with joy. My sis Cricket is in the building. Thank y'all for taking out time tonight to talk heart to heart and just get some good information, some real life knowledge on what is and may be going on with your heart. So scary statistics, check this out. First of all, we got all kinds of things. We know there are car accidents, there are violent crimes, there are all kinds of chronic diseases, we have cancers, all of these things. But with all of that, heart disease is still the #1 killer in the U.S. That is across all racial groups, that is across male and female, that is across all age groups. Heart disease is the #1 killer in our country. So it's very important that we have this conversation. And even though February is Heart Health Month, we should be talking about this way, way more often, okay? But I just wanted to share that with us. Also, I shared this on the show. In the United States currently, about every 40 seconds, someone has a heart attack. Okay, we've been on here, 8 minutes now? So that means, what's 8 times 4? 32-ish. Is that math right? That's either way. Either way, we have had over 20 people have had a heart attack just since we've been on this broadcast. Do we realize how serious that is? That could be someone we know. And then this was the scary thing. Wait a minute, I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit, because 1 in 5, okay, that's 20%. 20% of heart attacks happen, they're called a silent heart attack, because the damage is done and folks don't even know. Someone could be sitting at home watching TV, eating a bowl of chili, eating a bag of chips, and having a heart attack right now and not even know it. That is scary. Yeah. But the more that we're informed, the more that we're open to having conversations like these, then we can get those numbers down, okay? A couple more things, and then I want to talk more to Alexis because she's so dope, and I really want you to hear her story, and then we're just going to get into some other things. So diet, of course, y'all know I don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about that because I love burgers, I love brownies, I love all of the things, right? But diet is one of the measures that impacts our heart health, and I was kind of surprised, but then when I thought about it, not really. Less than 10% of American adults are getting the proper dietary nutrition to avoid cardiovascular disease, heart disease, which is really a combination of whole grains, fruit, non-starchy vegetables, in other words, green vegetables, every day. Less than 10%. Less than 10%. So when we think about that again, that's across racial and ethnic boundaries, that's across gender, and really that's across socioeconomics, which we know wealthier people have a lot better access. But still, these should be very, very scary numbers for us. And the last thing I'm going to say, we're going to get right into Alexis' story, is I found out I was today years old when I found out that sleeping too much or too little can increase your risk for heart disease. The numbers were really, really crazy. I didn't even want to share the exact numbers, but how could I not? So what I read literally on the CDC and AHA websites was they recommended that you stay right in the 7 and 8 hour range. Now, all of this, let me just say this again. Alexis is not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. I just play one on TV. Okay. So take in these resources and take in this advice, but always run this by your doctor. But I want y'all to take this very, very seriously. I have resources that I can send you. Let me just tell that now so that I don't forget. You can email me at thehealedgirl@gmail.com. I have some really good stuff and some websites that I will send you. They have all kind of cool stuff because they did this Live to the Beat campaign this year, the American Heart Association, AHA. So I can send you those things, thehealedgirl@gmail.com. I can send you that. And so the number that was on the stat sheet that they had was literally for every hour over that 7-8 mark. Again, run this by your doctor because your medication and lifestyle will impact this. But in general, every hour over that 7-8 mark could increase your risk 6%. 6%. Every hour under. I want to say it right. Every hour under. So if you only getting 5 hours per night of sleep, that is 6% for every hour that you're increasing. But then over is more of an increase. And y'all know I love math, so I had to kind of look at that. What they said on the website, this is CDC and American Heart Association. Okay, I didn't make this stuff up. They said between that 7 and 8 baseline, every hour over, you can increase your risk 12%. 12%.
Wow.
And so, no, I'm not trying to scare anybody. Like if you just slept so much this weekend, no. Okay. But if we are having crazy bouts of really long sleep on a regular basis, that could be a sign of something. And so we really need to make sure that we're getting our regular checkups. If we are prescribed medications, let's make sure that we are taking them. I just want to say, I'm not going to speak on a specific situation just yet, but y'all, if there is an issue where two things, I will say this, and I'll put myself out there. I know other sisters will help too, but I'll put myself out there. If there's a situation where you feel like you're speaking to your doctor and you are not being heard and you feel like you want some help advocating and speaking up for yourself, email me, get in touch with me. Okay. That I'm very passionate about that. I don't play that because that almost killed me. That almost killed my grandmother. And I don't play about that. You have got to advocate for yourself. And number two, if there is an issue where you're having a resource problem, in other words, if your medication isn't being filled properly, if it's crazy expensive and your out-of-pocket costs are just really, really crazy, I don't have resources per se, but I can get in touch with people who do. Okay, so that's what this community is about. I always say Chosen Chick is a place for real friends and real compassion. This is where we discuss real issues that are going on in our life, and we always want to run it by the word of God. So we have to have that heart-to-heart connection, y'all. So please don't allow your health to go in a decline because you are too prideful or too ashamed to ask for help. If you don't know the right questions, if you can't pronounce some of this stuff, the guilt and shame has to go. The guilt and shame has to go. I didn't intend to say any of this, but I just want to say that it is important, y'all. We are in a time where we have to be very serious about our physical health, our mental health, and our self-care. We can't be playing with this stuff. Okay. So reach out to your sisters, reach out to me. Okay. You can email me. If you have my phone number, feel free to text me so that we can make sure that we're getting to the bottom of this. Okay. Heart to heart. It's a big deal for me. So Lexi, let's talk about your scare last year. So tell us the whole thing because it was a mental and emotional component to it, but it absolutely was a physical product that you felt with your heart. So tell us what happened. Take your time and walk us through everything that happened with your episode.
Yes. So yeah, it was really scary. This is a few months ago. I'm gonna say gotta be for October of last year, because I believe it was
Definitely.
before we had,
That's
yeah.
right.
So
Mhm.
yeah, I had a scare with my heart. I had, you know, recently begun a new workout regimen that was like something that I was not used to. And I think that it was just a bit over the top. You see, here's the problem. I'm an all or nothing kind of girl, okay?
Mhm.
So if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna go hard. I'm not gonna do it at all.
Yep.
So yeah, I began this workout regimen, and it was like intense. Like it was like, and I hadn't worked out in a very long time.
Mhm.
So it was like I I I believe that it was a bit too much for me
Mhm. Mhm.
to just start like doing every day and just so quickly, as opposed to just easing into it. So I remember after a couple of days doing this workout regimen, and mind you, um, let me just put this out there. I was doing this workout routine, um, not necessarily because I felt convicted, but because I felt shameful about the way I looked, and I felt shameful about what people would think about me if I wasn't doing this.
Oh.
So just put that in your
Yeah.
pocket, okay? Don't
Yes.
play yourself, okay? Because you're gonna be out here trying to please other people, and God's like, I didn't tell you to work out that hard. Okay, that's number one.
Mhm.
Anyway, so yeah, so I began this workout routine. It was really, 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 really intense. And I remember after maybe the first couple of days I was fine, but then like just one day I came home and I was, cleaning up, and I'm like, man, I still feel like my heart is like going. Like like I just worked out, but I had
Mhm.
stopped like maybe like an hour ago or so.
Mhm.
So I'm like, man, I started Googling and seeing like, how long is it supposed to take for your heart to settle down? And
Mhm.
yeah, like, some things were saying like maybe sometimes it'll take like an hour or so. So I'm like, all right, it's been maybe like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. I'll still give it some time. But yeah, I remember just like sitting at my desk. I think I was actually talking to the Lord, and I just felt my heart like something wasn't right. I just knew like just something was not right. And I remember feeling like I feel like my heart is racing, like I had just gotten done working out. And then I think like the next morning it got more severe. And but here's the thing as well. I want to mention this. So when I was younger, I had always thought that I had some type of a heart murmur.
Uh-huh.
And I would go to the doctors. I'm a little girl, okay? Like I would go to the doctors, and they would because it would come in episodes.
Mhm.
So I would go to the doctors and say, hey, listen, something's not right with my heart. Like I'd like it's beating, but then it stops, then it starts up again. Like I didn't have the vocabulary to really, you know, say what was going on.
Mhm.
So they would listen with the stethoscope, and they'd be like, you're fine. I'm like, dude, you're not listening for long enough.
Mhm.
And this went on for years. Yeah, this went on for a very long time. Okay, so fast forward to a few months ago.
Yes.
And yeah, so I'm just sitting at my desk, my heart's pounding. I'm like, man, something ain't right. Can only attribute it to the workout that I've been doing, because I haven't experienced an episode like that, like where my heart would like do the heart murmur thing, for a few months, right? So I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, it was just the workout probably that just triggered it. It's fine. Oh my gosh, I went to sleep. I woke up that next day. Woo! I thought I was going to literally like I thought I was going to pass away. I'm not even kidding. Like
Wow.
my heart was like beating like out of my chest, like irregularly. And not only that though, but then other symptoms began to develop in me.
Uh-huh.
I began to have shortness of
Yes.
breath. Like I would just be sitting there and felt like I was like, God, I cannot breathe, but I am not moving. Like what is happening?
Yeah.
I'm sitting at my desk.
Yes.
Why can't I breathe?
Mhm.
And not only that, but my neck felt tight, like very tight. And also I began belching. Like I was just like having indigestion.
Uh-huh.
And then my heart
Uh-huh.
was I felt faint. I felt like I could pass out. So I'm like, man, these is cardiac symptoms, God. I'm trying to be right. I'm trying to eat right, God, but what's
Yeah.
happening?
Yeah.
So I had listen, I had gone to, I'm trying to use wise transparency here, okay? Because I don't want y'all to be like me. I no, for real. I had I'm like, man, I need to go to the doctors. I I didn't have no insurance, y'all. So I'm like, all right, like I'm just go to the clinic. And I went to the clinic, and they basically were like, you just have something called PVC, but we can't really, we have to do more tests, and we're not really equipped to do all that here. So, but it's clear as day. Like my heart on the monitor, I remember watching it, and it would drop down to like my pulse
Yeah.
would drop down to 40, and then shoot up to like 180, but then it dropped back down. Yeah,
That is
yeah,
crazy.
like and I was watching it.
Yes.
So I'm like, this is crazy. But yeah, they said that I had something called preventricular contractions.
Mm-hmm.
And they just sent me home and was like, listen, we can't really do much more for you. You have to go to a cardiologist. No insurance. So I'm like, nah, right? So I go home, and the symptoms just get worse, man. They get really bad, and I ended up going to the hospital. And long story short, they just sent me home, and I didn't do the workout anymore, and my heart rate just went back to normal. And I think after that I did begin walking, but I didn't do that hard rigorous workout that I was doing before. That was just a bit above my pay grade.
Yeah.
So so yeah, that was that. It was very, very scary. It was like terrifying. I really I thought that I was gonna go see the king.
Okay. You thought you was walking through those pearly gates. That is crazy. So thinking about your age, and well, you had a little palpitations history or whatever, but no major heart issues or episodes all throughout your 20s, really. Just a little palpitations, which unfortunately is normal. I found that out myself, that that is normal, and that's why they all the time they don't do a lot of follow-up testing with you. But the fact that because, and once again, so we've all gone through different bouts, different stages in our life where we either didn't have insurance, didn't have enough insurance, or like some geniuses, myself, who had insurance but still did not have a primary care doctor and just would not go to the doctor. Hello. So that whole entire range. But the fact that they somebody trying to call me, excuse me, the fact that they recommended that you go to a specialist, but no follow-up, no nothing. They didn't try to provide you any real counseling. That was really crazy. But I just want to go, y'all already know what it is. Don't even, I'm like, Alexis, don't play yourself. You already know. First of all, we're two preachers. Okay, for those who tuned in late, Alexis just got her master's degree in biblical studies. It's a big deal, this baby. We can get into that in one second, because that whole story is super crazy to me as well. But you had to, number one, listen to your body. Well, no, rewind. Number one, you had to pray and talk to the one who created your body. But also, number two, listen to what your body was trying to tell you, which is, you know what? That is way too vigorous of a workout, given your condition and given your workout history. You can't just jump in like that, even though you were younger. And so you found that out the hard way, trying to do the right thing really for the wrong reason. Okay, and thank you for being honest that you really went through a season of a body image issue. So it was, you didn't seek any wisdom. You just said, okay, I feel like this is going to do it. And the harder I work out, the quicker I'll lose. Was that your thought? Yes.
Absolutely.
Because,
and not just that, though, but like also just the fact that, and I suppose this is a little bit of pride too, because, or self-righteousness. I don't know. Like I wanted not to just lose the weight, but for people to see me like, oh, like she's exercising, right?
Yes.
So it's like I wanted people to see me, that I was trying to fix myself.
Yes.
So it wasn't even just about like, God, I want to take care of this temple. I wanted people to look at Alexis and say, yeah, she's doing good. She's working out.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And that you are not alone in that status symbol. First of all, hey Tiff's in the building. Hey Koya's in the building. That status, it's just like this social media generation, the social media culture. It's just like, hey, look at me, this is what I'm doing. Hey, look at me, this is where I'm shopping. Hey, look at me, this is where I'm traveling. Hey, look at me, I work out. Hey, look at me, I have the latest this and the that. And it's just like, what? We have to get back to what is really important. So y'all, this is Purposeful Journeys, Heart to Heart. Alexis just shared with us how at 29 years old, she had a major heart event, was recommended to see a cardiologist, and at the time could not, because of essentially one choice that she made, an overexerting workout where she literally felt that she could pass away at any moment. When you have that shortness of breath, like you said, when you have that tightness in your neck, yeah, that's not good. Mm-hmm. That's not good. And I'm so glad that yours wasn't an actual heart attack, but it was just the preventricular contractions, which is essentially, now this is my layman's term. Once again, hello, I am not a doctor. I just play one on TV. So you need to do your own research. You need to follow up with your doctor. Hello, if you don't have a doctor, I encourage that you get one. Okay, so all of those things, that's the disclaimer. Okay, so don't do that. Don't do that to me. Like, okay, we're not taking any liability for this. We're just trying to show some love. But to make sure that you are doing the right thing. So let me share a couple of things then, Lexi. I want us to talk about the faith piece, because as kingdom women, as believers, which we all are, again, I don't know who is viewing, who got invited. We have over 400 women in the group, and I pray that each of them know and love the Lord. I pray that each of them have a personal relationship, because that is what it is all about. Christ came into this world, born to die. He lived as a man so that he could know what it's like. We don't have a high priest who doesn't know what it's like to be in this flesh, right? So when we have something that is going on in our physical bodies, our heart, our lungs, whatever, our mental capacity, we have to take these things to him. And if y'all have questions, if y'all are curious, anything that y'all want to ask, Leah's laughing at me. Anything that y'all want to ask, Alexis or myself, y'all jump in at any time. I'm so grateful that the comments are working, because y'all know they act crazy sometimes. So let me just share a couple of things. Again, the American Heart Association, they have Heart Health Month every February, and they have different theming, of course, each year to keep it exciting and fresh. And so this year's theme was Live to the Beat. And what that is, we all, kind of dance to the beat of our own drum. So there's no cookie cutter solution. I stated some very scary statistics. Another one, I don't know if I even got to say this. Every year, more than 805,000 people every year have a heart attack in this country. And remember, 20% of those are silent. Folks are having heart attacks and don't even know it. And so a heart attack can literally cause permanent damage. There's an event, and your heart is never really the same after that. You have to rebuild the muscle and the memory. There are things that you have to do after having a heart attack. So these things are important. So let me, y'all know my scroll game is crazy. So wait a minute, I'm trying to scroll over to these resources. I want to share with us a little bit of these good things from Live to. Oh wait, no, let me do this. Let me now see. I had all my stuff lined up. Hold on. Okay, here it is. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this up. I don't know why. Whatever was going on in my brain, I think I thought I was just going to transfer it over to the Heal Girl YouTube channel, which is why I didn't leave our last Purposeful Journeys up, which is weird, and I think the technology got the best of us. So God bless. Thank you for those who have attended most of these and the last one. This one, I'm gonna make sure that I leave it up, because this is very important. So you'll be able to search and get this one in the group. So I want to give us some quick tips. It says 10, so I'm going to run through these, but these are very good so you can catch the replay. Also, if you couldn't be with us live, if you have a friend, family member, or loved one that you would like to catch this information, maybe they were busy or whatever. We have people doing dinner, evening commute, all of that who couldn't join us, but we're so grateful for the ones who did. But if they could not join us live, tell them to jump right in and drop the comment hashtag replay so that they can get all of this good information. So these are some quick tips, easy and maybe dependent on where you are in your life, not so easy things that you can introduce into your routine and regimen right now. Let me see what you're saying, Lisa. Okay, Lisa doesn't know what test to ask for. Very good, Lisa. So one thing, let me share this. Now I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but I wanted to talk about this. Anyway, let me scare you a little bit, but also inform, let me enlighten. And I wish I could have gotten her on here, but her schedule gets crazy. One of my very dear friends is a nurse. She lives in Oklahoma, and she just casually texted me something a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, that is scary and so true. So amongst all of the diagnoses that I have, another that I deal with, Lisa and others who are listening, Lexis as well, is sleep apnea. So I sleep with a full face mask on every night. I thank God. I used to literally have to have an oxygen line to run to that. That whole thing was so crazy. But sleep apnea, for those who don't know, is literally when you stop breathing in your sleep. And so guess what? When you stop breathing, essentially your heart slows down. And if you stop breathing for long enough, your heart will stop. So sleep apnea is directly connected to heart health, and it can kill you. And so what my smart, which she really is brilliant, girlfriend who is a nurse, texts me. She says, oh yeah, folks who have sleep apnea and who don't want to sleep with their mask on, she said they're at the highest risk for heart failure.
Wow.
Hello. Okay. Are you hearing this? So
Wow.
Lisa, this is medical and personal. I'm sharing with you and others. Take note of your own sleeping habits. Do you wake up having to gasp for breath? Do you wake up with tightness in your chest? Do you find yourself waking up in the middle of the night? If you have children or your boo that you sleep with, have they noticed things in your sleep? These are the kind of things that we need to monitor. So I also talk in my sleep, which is super weird, but everybody has confirmed it. Everybody that's ever been on a retreat with me and everything. And I'm just like, okay, obviously this is true. But my husband, as well as my sister, my blood sister, when I would spend the night over her, when I was undiagnosed, I would sit up in my sleep. I would sit up because my body would not let me lie down flat. My heart was saying something is wrong. I had no idea. I would literally sit up in the bed, supposedly asleep. So those were some signs. So saying all that to say, it's not necessarily fun, but don't be afraid to ask for a sleep study to make sure that you are breathing all night long.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, come on. See, Lisa already said she got a sleep study schedule. See, God knows exactly what he's doing. So this timing is not, I just got chills. This timing is not off. God knows what he's doing, and this is why we have to be obedient. Leah, let me see what you said. Anemia can affect your heart rate and cause palpitations. Absolutely right. And guess what? Number one thing that they prescribe for anemic, iron. They also prescribe that you eat lots of greens. You need that. See, now we should have had Charlene on here. But you need that mineral that's in greens. So your kales, your collards, your spinach, those fresh spinach salads that I absolutely love. Like I stopped eating iceberg lettuce a long time ago. Y'all, that is trash. If y'all are eating iceberg lettuce salads, just please stop doing that. Like, just, put 50, 75 cents with it. At least get the romaine. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not trying to play anybody. I'm straight up like, iceberg lettuce is trash. Like, stop doing that. Like, so we need more leafy greens. We need green beans, those high fiber, and those green foods. Okay.
Yeah.
So very, very good. So that's just one test. At least I have some other resources and others. At least I have your email. Anybody else who's interested in resources, Lisa asked a very good question of what other tests could she ask her doctor for, and just kind of keeping mindful of those things. Yet cooking in a cast iron skillet to get iron in your food. Very good. Sarah, come on, Sarah. And y'all, Sarah is not only a master jeweler, she is a former caterer, so she's an amazing baker and cook. So very, very good. This is why these conversations are so important. I love that. Great, 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 great. Okay, so let me run through. I have 10 tips, y'all. I can't believe it's 10, but I'm gonna give y'all all 10. Again, y'all can catch the replay, watch this again. You can forward to where we're at about the 35 minute mark, 37 minute mark. So you can fast forward and listen to these tips again. So number one, I'm saying some of these are easier than others. Stop smoking. I know that's so much easier said than done, because a habit is a habit and addiction is an addiction. But as much as you can, y'all, really, really, really need to stop smoking, because that has a direct higher risk on your heart. So again, I have tons of resources here that I can send folks. Number two, know your numbers. So now this is something also, this will go with, which they kind of run this stuff. When you go to the doctor, they're always going to take your temperature. They're going to 9 times out of 10 take your weight, and they're going to take your blood pressure. But also make sure that they are able to tell you, I forget what the name of the test is, but you want to know what your actual cholesterol. Hey, Rose, my girl Rose is in the building. You want to know what your cholesterol numbers are, okay? Because that plays an essential role in maintaining your heart health. Also, screen for diabetes. So see, look, Lisa jumping all ahead of me. I don't know if Lisa got a bug on my computer or what, she asking the question, but this is right in the tips. So we want to make sure that we know our numbers, blood pressure, as well as cholesterol. And don't let no doctor rush y'all out of the office. Like I said, if you need an advocate, I'm here. You can get me on the cell phone, the FaceTime, all of the above. Like, number one, you're paying your money, whether it's copay insurance or both. Don't let any doctor, you wouldn't do it with your hairdresser. You wouldn't do it with your pedicures. She's not just going to throw something on your toes and rush you out of there, right? No. Yep. Take your time and do me right. Hello. So it's the same thing with these doctors, nurse practitioners. Don't let anybody rush you out of their office. Get the information that you need. Advocate for yourself. Okay. So make sure we know our numbers. Ask to get screened for diabetes. Okay. Also, the thing that we don't want to hear, be active. We have especially y'all with all the social media, all the work from home, everything. We have very sedentary lifestyles. We're driving instead of walking and taking our bicycles and things like that. We want to get the closest parking spot at Walmart. Okay. But we got to get active and get these bodies moving. Lexi laughing at me. We got to get active and get these bodies moving. Okay. And also with that, build muscle. Don't be afraid to do some strength training. I'm not trying to make you a bodybuilder, because I'm not going to do that. But there are things this one workout. Now I'm not going to promise this thing, y'all. Y'all have to look this stuff up in the reels and the TikTok. But this young lady, and she looks good. I don't know if she just looks good for her age, but a young lady, as far as weight, she was lifting up gallons of water. So that can be your weight. Back in the day, I know Sarah can attest to this. Back in the day, they would tell us you can start with a can good. You want to start with a lightweight, 1 can good in each hand. You can do roll-ups. You can do your squats with your can good in each hand. And then as you build your weight up, if you don't want to spend the money on actual weight equipment, use stuff that you have around your house. Yeah. Gallon of water, can goods. Okay. So do things to build muscle. Believe it or not, we got 5 tips already. So we got 5 more. Eat smart. So let me just give you, we know that you can't have all burgers and brownies, which is what I love, okay? There's nothing wrong with treating yourself every now and then, but we have to get some portion control. But we also need to introduce these superfoods into our diet, which there is long list. You can Google that on your own and come up with a ton of stuff. But let me give you some quick ones. Salmon. First of all, salmon is delicious. Salmon is delicious.
Listen.
So you love to put more of that in your diet. I mean, come on, you can do it over a salad, you can do it over a bed of rice, you can do it with a side of mashed potatoes. I'm making myself hungry. Hello. Salmon is a superfood. Nuts. Now, of course, if you have a nut allergy, be careful with that. You might be kind of different. Like my husband, he's allergic to every nut except peanuts. I've never met anybody like that in my life until I met him. Like, he literally can't have walnuts or anything else, cashew. But peanuts, peanut butter all day. I don't know. But nuts are superfood. Berries. Okay, strawberries, blueberries, raspberries. Berries are superfood. And oats. Now, let me tell y'all something that I love. Some of you also may know that I'm lactose intolerant. So oat milk. Oh my goodness. Oh, they have oat milk, ice cream. Y'all, oat milk is my friend. Okay. So introducing oats and high fiber to your diet. Those are just a few. Okay, now let me run through the rest of these, and I want to talk some more to Alexis. Limiting junk food, again, that's something that we don't want to hear, but cutting back on those chips and a lot of processed stuff. Okay, stress less. I talk about this all the time. Stress less. Y'all, we love these phones. I run a whole business essentially off my phone, right? But all of these notifications, everything that's going on in your calendar, sometimes just taking a few minutes to unplug and put that phone down, you will be surprised that will bring your stress level down. If you just commit to, I'm not going to talk to nobody for 1 hour. I'm not going to talk to nobody for 30 minutes. Don't call me. If they bleeding, guess what? If they're not in your house, it's not so much you can do for them anyway. You understand what I'm saying? Say a prayer.
Call Jesus.
That call God. Hello. That's what you have to call. They'll be all right. 30 minutes. I promise you, they will be fine. Okay. So whatever it is to stress less. Some of us have very high. If Tiffany is still in, Tiffany has a very high impact job. A lot going on, and so that can be a source of stress. It doesn't matter how good you are at your job. It doesn't matter how good of a relationship you have with your boss. It still could be stressful. What you say, Leah? Girl Scout cookies. Listen, I had to duck the Girl Scouts all weekend. They was trying to get me. I said, no, you won't get me. Because if I get one, I'm going to get at least 2 boxes of Samoas, if they still call them that. But y'all know the one I like with the coconut. Yes, so I had to duck and dodge them. But stressing less. Okay, and just 2 more tips we have here. Again, having that right sleep balance. That 7 or 8 hour mark. Again, consult your doctor with all these things that we're sharing, but that 7-8 hour mark is what we're aiming for. And so guess what? Let me just say this. If you have children, again, if you have a job that you may have to be on call for or do different things, you actually may not be able to get your 8 hours at one time. I get that. Let me just tell you a little bit of my husband's business. He won't mind. He's a 5th grade math teacher. The system that works for him, he gets up insanely early in the morning. So he usually is at work no later than 6 a.m. And so he is usually going over his paperwork, his lessons, and all of that whiteboard stuff. He's usually doing that stuff 3-4 a.m. Right? But when he comes home, he only maybe 1 day a week will he make those parent phone calls, like immediately when he's getting home. He's taking a nap when he comes home. He's getting 1 to 2 hours of sleep essentially as soon as he comes home. Then he wakes up and does the rest of his routine. Sometimes he's getting that nap before he even gets dinner. And guess what? Because I'm a wife that loves the Lord, I had his dinner ready when he gets home. Okay, that's just what I do. I ain't talking this. We talking heart to heart. You understand? That's just what I do. So he has that option. But again, right, that 7 to 8 hour mark, that's what they are recommending. And they're saying if you drop too far below that, you have a cardiovascular disease risk, heart risk. They're saying if you're going too far above that, you have a heart disease risk, y'all. So you got to understand these things and get the proper balance. My girl Lefty's in the building. Hey, Lefty. And I want to say something about sleep in a minute. I'm gonna jump back to that. The number 10 tip that they have on here, and again, this is from a place called BioIQ. I can send y'all this stuff. Email me, thehealgirl@gmail.com. The last tip that they provide is smile, because a happy heart is a healthy heart. So that goes right in with less stress and more joy. That is going to have a great impact on your heart and your heart health. So I want to say, because I want to get a little bit more into Lexi's business, and then we're going to let y'all go. I want to say something about sleep. So guess what? Again, you could have a very high impact job. It could be very fast paced. You may be on call. One of my very best friends, she's gotten several promotions, bless her heart, but a couple of years ago, she works with special needs adults, and she was on call 24/7. So she could get a call at 12 noon, she get a call at 2 a.m. And she had to be willing to pitch it. She might have had to go to the job. She might have had to speak to staff on site with her individuals. So that's a lot. You understand? That's a lot. And so I understand that, but you got to be able to make sure that you're getting your proper rest. I also want to make a note. Some of us are trying to take over the world. Hello, moguls in the making. I understand that. And so I look at two major moguls. I'm looking at Sean Puffy Combs, and I'm looking at Oprah. And so at the top of their game, so we have to know the wisdom and use it as it applies us. At the top of their game, both of them essentially brag on the fact that they were getting on average 4 hours of sleep a night. I don't recommend that for anybody. First of all, Puffy is crazy. Like, I personally know him. So, and I've heard different things about Oprah. But again, you have to know your limits and your boundaries and do the right balance for your health. I'm not going to knock you going after your dream, because I'm going after mine, okay? But you have to make sure to count the costs, because there are trade-offs on every end. So making sure that you're getting that right balance of sleep, even if it's not 8 hours at one time, but you have to refuel, recharge, and rest. Okay, refuel, recharge, and rest. So now, Lexi, tell us the story, because you know I love this story. Tell us the story of how you came into the faith, because physical, medical, health-wise, we know that that is important. So we've spent significant time talking about that, what the stats are, what we need to be doing to change some things, what we should be asking of our doctors. All of that is important. But there is one, hello, who created these bodies. And the most important thing that we can do is fellowship with him, communicate with him, and commune with him. Okay, he wants to be a part of our everyday lives. Okay, every single day in every area of our life. So, Alexis, please tell us how you came into the faith, because I love this story so much.
Man, all right. I'm trying to make this short. Help me, Lord, in the name of Jesus. So, yeah, I guess I'll start here. This is I've always been aware of the existence of God. I think my mom did a very good job in instilling that into her children, that God exists, Jesus exists. But as far as the personal relationship, as far as me knowing him for myself, that so yeah, I had been going through some really hard times. I was experiencing a lot of mental health issues that were like really, really bad, all throughout college, and then even after college. I was an EMT. That's funny. I was an EMT. Don't ask me nothing now, because I don't remember nothing. I was actually on my way to become a physician assistant. So yeah, so I was just had all these struggles, these mental health struggles. And I remember it was December, right before Christmas, December of 2018, that my mom bought me a Bible, and she was like, "Listen, I can't deal with you anymore. Take this and do something with it." So I was like, "All right, whatever." So like, I already know God, like I believe in him, but I was serious about trying to be better. I thought I knew God. Really, I did. I considered myself to be a Christian. So what I did was I said, okay, I'll just take the entire year of 2019 to read this entire Bible, Genesis to Revelation. So I did the whole thing. So beginning of January 2019 to December 2019, I read the entire Bible. But it wasn't even, it was just like I did this. Like I Alexis, Christian of Christians here, okay?
Yeah.
I did it.
All right.
So that was that. Still struggling with a lot of issues, mental health issues, pretty badly, pretty severely. I was in a almost 5-year relationship at that point in time, and COVID hit because this is beginning of March of 2020. COVID hit and anxiety goes through the roof, and I'm like, man, I just can't. I just can't, God, I just can't, right? So just one day, randomly, I'm like, listen, and this is when the quarantine, I believe, first began. So I'm like, I have to go to Walmart, I have to go to the store, and let me just go get some stuff, and that's just gonna be it. So before going to Walmart, I stopped off at my mom's house. I'm like, Mom, I'm like panicking now. Personally, and this is something that I still struggle with. I'm very like, I can be very impulsive. Especially like if I'm having like anxiety. So I'll have like word vomit and I can't stop it. So I'm like, Mom, like literally just like, Mom, like, do you think that we're sick? Like, do you have a fever? Do you have a fever? Like, do you feel real? Like, just literally just asking these questions, like, and I couldn't stop it. I was out of control. I could not stop. And I'm actually panicking. So my mom was like, listen, I gave you that Bible for you to read and do something with it. Have you learned nothing? You read the whole thing. And she's like, have you learned nothing? And I was like, you don't know nothing, right? So I left out the house. But I'm not saved. Okay, listen, y'all, don't judge me. I'm not saved. So I'm at that point I wasn't saved. So I walk out the house and I'm like, really, man, I just felt so alone. I felt just very alone. And I'm getting the car and I pull out of her driveway, and I'm just, for some strange reason, I had just decided to call out to the Lord, and I was like, God, you know what? Either you gonna fix me or you gonna take me, because I can't deal with this anymore. And I'm like, God, honestly, I just want to be with you. And that's it. So and mind you, y'all, I'm boo-hooing as I'm talking to God, driving to Walmart, okay? Just literally just hysterically crying. And I pulled into the Walmart parking lot, and I looked just really crazy because my hair wasn't done. I had on this huge bonnet, these huge glasses to protect my face, okay? This huge mask because I used to work in the hospital, so I had these like official N95 masks, to like the hard ones, okay?
Yes.
And I'm just like putting on gloves, okay? So I'm like, listen, I'm not getting nothing, but I have to go in here. I gotta get food, gotta get groceries. So I'm just kind of trying to gear myself up to go into the Walmart. And I used to keep the Bible that my mom had got for me back in 2018. I used to keep it open to Psalm 23 in the what is it called, the
dashboard.
Yeah, the dashboard. I used to keep it open to Psalm 23. So I'm trying to encourage myself to get up and go into Walmart, and this guy, he comes like, I don't know, honestly, this is just like the Lord. Like, I don't know why my eyes were fixed upon him. There were so many people there. Like, this is Walmart, right? So many people coming out, so many people going in. But man, this guy's coming out, and I see him. He can't find his car, and I saw him looking for his car. Wasn't thinking anything of it. I'm still panicking, got to go into Walmart, just trying to encourage myself to go in. And this guy, as I'm watching him, he's kind of like looking through the parking lot for his car. And as he's looking, he just like stops at my car, and he's like does this like squint thing, right? And I'm like, okay, he can't. There's no way. So he starts walking towards my car, okay? And I'm thinking he's gonna walk by my car. Listen, this man stops at the car, knocks on the window. I roll it down like this much, because COVID. And I'm like, can I help you? Now, I used to be spicy, okay? So I'm like, can I help you?
You still spicy.
And I am? No. Oh my gosh. So I'm like, can I help you? And he's like, what are you doing? So I'm like, sir, I'm going into Walmart. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
And he's like, no. Why are you so afraid? And I was like, what? And he was like, what are you afraid for? Like, you believe in God, right? Like, you trust God, right? Like, then he's like, listen, don't worry. You're going to be with God. Like, we're both going to be with him. But right now, the enemy is trying to scare you. Whatever he's doing to you right now, it's working. And you're falling for it. And then by this man, he just keep like literally addressing everything that I had just spoken to God about like 5 minutes prior to that moment. Me and God in the car.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
by this point in time, my windows rolled all the way down. And he's like, listen, grab that Bible off of the dashboard. And I'm like, okay. So it's like, he's like, open up to Psalm 91. I'm like, what's Psalm 91, right? Because I had read it, but it's like I didn't read it through the lenses of faith, right? So I'm like, well, what's Psalm 91? He reaches in, he's finding it for me, right? And he begins reading, I believe beginning at verse 9. And I'm like, man, this is what's happening. And the guy, he's just like, yeah, man, he literally hit everything that I had just spoken to God about, like literally everything. And then I'm like, who are you? Apparently he said that he was shopping. He had like a little scooter. And he's like, he's like, I'm a nurse. He's like, I'm here. I'm shopping for my daughter. And then I was like, okay, like, bye. So he just leaves. But like that moment, like at that moment, I said, God, I'm done. Like everything flipped upside down. I said, God, I'm all in. And that day I went home and I opened Romans and I just read the entire book of Romans, and then literally that just kind of sparked this fire in me. I literally could not get out the Bible. I could not stop. And I just hit a point where I'm like, okay, God, I'm either going to go to PA school or I'm going to go to seminary. And I'm like, God, I believe that you're pulling me to seminary. So that was that. Yeah, I got saved in March of 2020. That was in March 2020. And I was in seminary by that June, July. But in that itself was a whole...
That just blows my mind every time you say that. So, I'm a preacher. So, and this, you can appreciate this on the apologetic side too. You are in that category of having a form of godliness, but denying the power, okay? Because your mama told you about that. You essentially read the Bible to be cute. The whole Bible. First of all, I've never heard of anybody do it. I've never heard of anybody literally reading the whole Bible, essentially just to be cute. Like, okay, I'm gonna just do this or whatever. And then poking out your chest like, no, listen, I read the whole Bible. I don't know what you're talking about. Hello?
I know God.
Hello? Leah, isn't this one of the greatest stories ever? I love this story so much. So you went from crazy anxiety problem, essential, if it's okay for me to call it, really bouts of depression, not necessarily manic, but, depression, anxiety, overload.
Thoughts, all of it.
Suicidal thoughts to a random, what would seem like, trip to Walmart. And God sent you an angel to your car door to answer your prayer in real time, real life. And the fact that in about 90 days, less than 120 days, you enrolled in seminary, that is insane to me. That is insane. That is insane.
God just be doing whatever he wants to do.
Whatever he wants to do. Do you hear me? Whatever
just be doing
he wants to do. But then look at this, check this, and then we get ready to get out of here in a minute. Check it. So 2018, you was tripping. 2019, you was being cute. 2020, you got to know God in a real way to seriously build a relationship with Him. Then you went to school because you knew that you had to take this message to the masses. You essentially wanted everyone to have the experience that you did, but everybody's not going to go to that Walmart and see that man. So you wanted to do what you could to make sure that everyone got to know this man, Jesus, who made this impact in your life. And God let you do all of that. And He let you, and we know, I don't want to say it's never 100%, but it's never 100%, because the enemy is always going to try to bring up that old thing, right? He's going to always try to still make you a little nervous, anxious, a little depressed. You're going to miss your old boo, all these other things, and think it, and it's really him trying to distract you, him trying to cast doubt on what God has ushered you into, right? But God allowed you to experience all of that before this major heart scare. Do you know how good God is?
He is really good. He is, ain't no one like him. Period.
Nobody. Man, I'm about to lose it over here. I love it. I love it. It's a big deal. It is a big deal. We had several sisters. Hey, B. Hey, Lo. Who else came in? Lefty, I said already. Hey, Alexandra. Thank y'all, our sisters, for coming in. Y'all can catch the replay. This has been an amazing conversation. So drop the hashtag replay for us, guys. Go all the way back to the beginning of the chat. It's been amazing. I do have resources to share. You can get the tips in the replay, but I can literally send you resources and websites if you want, and you can email me at thehealgirl@gmail.com. Before I go, like I said, don't let this move take fool you. Alexis is a whole preacher. She really is. So I want you to follow her, Bond with Christ Ministries, on YouTube. It's a big deal. She has it's so young and fresh, but it's all word, y'all. It's all love and it's all word, and I love it so much. So follow her as she follows Christ. That's Bond with Christ Ministries on YouTube. I'm gonna let her drop the link. Lexus, we'll let you drop it now, or do you have to come out to do it?
I don't know.
Either way, you can go back in and drop it. If not, but y'all, Bond with Christ Ministry. She's Alexis Bond on YouTube. Also, she has an Etsy shop. Okay, and what's your key phrase, Lexus?
Read your Bible, don't play yourself.
Read your Bible, don't play yourself. Listen. So if you don't take away anything from tonight's discussion, make sure that you prioritize your heart health. Okay. Yeah. Speak up for yourself at the doctor. Start healthy habits in your eating and in your body movement. And read your Bible, don't play yourself.
Period.
Yes. And no, Lisa says that she's too old. No, she's just young enough, but it's so fresh and the word is so good. Lisa, you are not too old for it. You are going to love it. You're going to love it. So she'll drop that link and the link to her Etsy shop, because she has merch, she has sweatshirts. And see, I thought she was in one location. I was trying to sneak and pick up my shirt in person, but I'm gonna have to order it also from her Etsy shop. So Lexus, make sure you drop that link as well. Okay, she has a BWC, a Bond with Christ shop on Etsy that you can get your merch from her. So support this sister. Follow her as she follows Christ. And thank y'all so much for hanging out with us on tonight. Love y'all. Good night. Thank you so much, Lexus. Night.
Bye. Thank you.